Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 24, I believe, of the In From Japan podcast, the podcast where we talk about the latest news on Japan-developed games and other things in relation to them. Now available on Spotify, Podbean, and YouTube. Other podcast services to be determined.
Welcome to a new week of news and scoops and reveals.
Yeah, I was like,
what have you?
I lost my train of thought there, and I was like, I gotta say something funny or something, and I'm like, no, I got nothing.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with, like we always do, talking about some of the Japanese games we've been playing. Final Fantasy 14. I'll start.
Fine,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Final Fantasy 14 Heavensward, still going strong. Doing my Dark Knight job quests. Doing my daily duty roulettes. Dark Knight story is kind of cool. It's all about conquering inner darkness and stuff like that. You know, like Naruto under the waterfall of truth and stuff. And I love that trope for some reason. And then also playing a lot of Xenoblade Definitive Edition.
Yeah.
Really enjoying it. Really enjoying the world. Like, I really like the story and the world. I think it's because, like, you know, with like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, like, well, Final Fantasy is a little different. Like, but with Dragon Quest, like, you already know the world. Like, even though it's not always the same world necessarily, but it's the same type of world. You know what I mean?
Are you saying, like, because Dragon Quest is basically...
I mean, like, you kind of know the monsters and how the evil person's going to be at the end, and like
I was going to say...
You kind of know what to expect from a game like Dragon Quest.
It's basically the grandfather of all RPGs.
It's very traditional,
very, fantasy world-esque with castles, dungeons, open plains, villages, that sort of thing.
But it's kind of like comfort food in that way that it's just like stays a certain way. But like with Xenoblade, I don't know what to expect or how things are going to progress. I don't know like what kind of enemies there are until I see them, like, or like that there are like, or if like, oh, it's only humans and mechons, or that there's like, it's actually there are more races than that actually, which there are. It's just cool, like, it's the first JRPG in a while where I feel kind of invested in the story. And it's not like the story is like, oh my god, the story is so good. I'm still pretty early on. But it's not a bad story. But it's just kind of like a... I don't know, it just feels like something new to me.
Let's say that.
Because I've never... Yeah, pretty much. On the opposite side, I've also started playing the Pokemon Isle of Armor.
How's that?
I like it. I mean, they put following Pokemon in, specifically on that island, after you get to a certain point, so that's fun. And,
But are they... Oh yeah, okay,
I'll talk
about it later.
A little bit more about it later, because I have an article that kind of has to do with it. But it's just like, it was just kind of more battling, a short little story. I think there's a couple other things I can do now, but it's
more of the
I don't
same?
know. I was spending a lot of time actually exploring at first. Just like instead of doing the story, I was exploring a lot more than usual. So it's cool that, like, you know, it's an actual island, so there's a big ocean area around it that you can travel around, and there are like little islands you can explore.
Okay.
But I'll say a little more about that later.
Okay, cool.
So what have you been playing?
It's raining on my end, so apologies for any interference because of that.
Oh, I can't hear it, so I think you're good.
I have also been playing Final Fantasy 14. I don't think I'm anywhere near the end. I'm not even level 30 yet on my Conjurer job.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I still have a long ways to go.
Good luck.
I don't mind the grind all too much, because it's a whole new world for me. I'm trying to absorb everything and find my bearings with it.
Yeah.
I only have 5 days left on my subscription, so it's gonna be fun trying to speed run through all of that. So I won't be playing anything else for the time being. Definitely no Last of Us 2. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it.
No.
I also recently,
I get what you mean. No, it's hard to balance
yeah,
everything right
definitely,
now.
and I also recently got back into Destiny 2, so there's also that to juggle. Um, yeah, it's a lot. I'm trying my best, but we'll see how it goes. I also just bought Shadowbringers,
Like,
because it was on sale for about
yeah.
$23. I mean, since I can't access my complete edition on my main account for PlayStation, I figured, okay, what the hell? I'll just do it on my dummy account. So there's
Yeah.
that.
It's actually it's surprisingly hard to juggle games right now because it's like there's Final Fantasy 14, then Xenoblade, and then you start Xenoblade, and then the Pokemon DLC comes out, and then after that, Last of Us 2 comes out the same week, and then various indie games I'm trying to manage. Also, while trying all these Steam demos from
The Steam
the
Game Festival, yeah.
Summer Games Fest, and it's just like,
I mean, I
yeah, it's
try to
like
keep-
I haven't even played Animal
I keep
Crossing in like a
reminding
week.
myself I don't need to play everything, and because of my daytime job, which requires my full attention, I also have to be smart about how much time I'm actually allocating to what. I can always.
To be fair, a lot of these things I do plan on writing about, so it's
No,
not like
that's
it's not like
No,
I'm always just playing for fun,
fine,
but I'm also playing.
But
for
I'm just
fun.
saying,
Yeah,
as you get older, it's going to become more of a juggling act. And I don't even have kids yet,
I
but
get you.
once that's a part of my life, you can bet I'll have even less time to play games. But for now, Final Fantasy 14, and I also, because it was on sale, bought Dragon Quest 11S on Switch.
Did we talk about this? We talked about this last week, didn't we?
That I was going to buy it, but I didn't buy it yet.
Or were you thinking about?
So
you were
I pulled the
thinking
trigger.
about
I bought it, and I am sad to say that I am not feeling it at the moment.
Shut off the podcast. Shut it down. Shut it down. We're not.
It's still
Is it the last
a
episode?
well-crafted
No.
game. It's pretty. It's whimsical and fun, but for some reason I just can't find my groove. Maybe it's because I'm not really into playing RPGs at the moment. I mean, I have been struggling with Final Fantasy 12. Now this. I still have
it happens.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the back burner. And plenty of other RPGs in my Steam and PS4 libraries. So maybe I'm just burned out on RPGs for the time being. But I'm trying to power through. I just finished Gallopolis. I think I'm at Gondolia now. The Venice inspired locale. I'll say this about Dragon Quest. It's fun, but I wish certain things were more modern. But that probably runs counter to what fans expect from Dragon Quest and how the creators of Dragon Quest view the game. Because I keep comparing it to Persona 5, Persona 5 Royale.
Oh yeah, you don't want to do that.
It's not that I want to do that or I don't want to do that, but they're both turn-based RPGs, and whereas Dragon Quest 11 is probably the best distillation of the classic formula, I think Persona 5 is the best evolution of the formula, of the turn-based formula. It's still a turn-based game. You still wait your turn and you still traverse dungeons, so it's not revolutionary in any sense. But when it comes to that kind of combat, I think that's the best it has ever been in the genre. So yeah, I think that's where I'm at.
All right. So moving on, we no J-list video game related movie or TV news this week, except for I mean it's not video game related, but I wanted to mention it that the Ultraman Z or Ultraman Zeto simulcast starts on the Subaraya YouTube channel. I think this weekend. And that's the first time Subaraya is going to simulcast an Ultraman premiere, so that's really cool. It'll have English subtitles, and also the cover for the Marvel Ultraman Rise of Ultraman comic that's going to come out in September was revealed, and they're releasing they're also releasing an Ultraman, like a Birth of Ultraman DVD set that has the best Ultraman episodes from the original series, but the title of the DVD is kind of a redundant. It's Ultraman, the Birth of Ultraman.
Well, that sounds very Japan-like when it comes to naming conventions.
And you're going to find out why I'm specifically mentioning Ultraman in a second when I get to the recommended content. Some articles from the past week, besides news. So we have Yakuza Like a Dragon English PC gameplay and interview with Scott Strichert by our buddy Michael Hyam over at GameSpot. Universal Praise Has Never Served Anyone by Brendan Sinclair over at US Gamer. The Last of Us Part 2's Unlikely Connection to Final Fantasy Tactics Advance by Kat Bailey, US Gamer. The Super Game Boy is now 26 years old by Liam Doolin, Nintendo Life. Keylocker is an RPG with Chrono Trigger style battles and relationship elements by Jenny Latta, Siliconera. So I decided, like, when stuff has elements from, well-beloved RPGs, we should try to highlight them. Just because, like, they're kind of related, and indie games always need more, a lot of indie games could always use more, exposure, I guess.
We have an indie podcast for that.
Yes, we also have an indie podcast. We have Indie Incursion, or wait. No, they changed their name, right? Yeah, we have the Indie Pod with our buddies Vaughn and Josh. You should definitely go check that out. I believe it's also on everything that we're available
on. You can
on.
find them. Just Google them.
Yeah. We have Final Fantasy V fans rejoice. The 4-Job Fiesta is here again by Scott White over at DualShockers. What was it? Oh, Chris Kohler wrote a really good book on Final Fantasy V, and I highly recommend it. It's from Boss Fight Books. We have Siren's Song, Way Forward on Shantae's Evolution, Smash Brothers and the Future by Eric Van Allen over at US Gamer. Anniversary, Pokemon Yellow launched in Europe 20 years ago today. That was from June 16th by, oops, I didn't put the author. Whoopsies. It's from Nintendo Life, and it's by Ryan Craddock. Voice actors from Ghost of Tsushima to Persona 5 on challenges facing Asian Americans in games by George Yang over at US Gamer. Chris Tales uses classic RPGs as inspirational markers on its wildly ambitious course by Nadia Oxford over at US Gamer. And The Kaiju Influence in Pokemon by me over at Parallax Media. And so I was talking about Ultraman earlier. The reason I talk about Ultraman is because Ultraman, or the Ultra series in general, seems to be, from my research, seems to be one of the, both Ultraman and Godzilla, which had one of the same creators, Eiji Tsuburaya, they both heavily influenced the initial concept of Pokemon from the very beginning. And it goes all the way to Dynamax and Gigantamax. And I added a sentence actually today because I just realized it, and I was like, wait, why did I put that? And the fact that, and yes, you could say mechanically, like they just had to do it that way mechanically to keep it balanced, but also it's too eerily similar in the way it works. So Heroes in the Ultra series, so the way they transform with when it shows it visually, have you seen how they like size up?
I mean, I'm familiar with Power Rangers, so
yeah. Well, no, it doesn't use it doesn't. No, I mean like the specific animation, the specific thing they use is they get like it's like a static image and it gets bigger. It's how Dynamax. You know how Dynamax and Gigantamax they go like in 3 stages before they get giant. They go like boom, boom, boom instead of just like continuously expanding. Yeah, that's an Ultraman thing. And I can't believe I forgot to put that. And then that and all Ultra heroes have a color timer, meaning they have a time limit before they have to power down. Just like how Dynamax only lasts a couple turns. I mean, obviously, that's it's a coincidence, but it's also so eerily similar that I'm like, I don't. But if you want to find out more about that, you can read the article I wrote, and also please read it because that took a lot of research and it was really fun, and I worked very hard on the featured image as well. Also support our friend Racy, who's mentioned in the article because her art is in it. She does really good art and she has a red bubble. So yeah, check that out. Yes. Okay, now onto the news. We have no bad news this week. Well, except for the pandemic going on.
That's ongoing.
No Japanese games have been delayed that we know of this week.
Shall I start off with the Paper Mario? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. You can do. How are we gonna split this?
I'll let you take 13 Sentinels. That seems.
Whoa! You want to do all 4 of those?
I'm fine with it. I mean, I have no bad news to.
I was gonna do the third one.
Gale.
Yeah, I'll. You can do the first 2, and then I'll do the third one.
Okay, cool.
We'll figure it out. Just go ahead.
Paper Mario: The Origami King overview trailer, companions, and combat details. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Nintendo has released an overview trailer for Paper Mario: The Origami King, as well as shared new information on the game's companion and combat. The article has a write-up of all the details. I mean, it's a lot, so click the link if you want to know specifically. And they released a trailer this week detailing some of the gameplay and the companions. And from what I can tell, and the chatter I've seen online, is that it's a return to form. But many people are still skeptical that Nintendo will show their true colors and revert to unfavorable gameplay elements. What do you think?
I'm just like, I think it looks fine, but people are like, oh no, it's still too gimmicky. It's not the true Thousand Year Door sequel that we want. And I'm like, y'all just want a remaster of Thousand Year Door.
That wouldn't be bad.
Like,
that wouldn't
don't
be bad.
lie.
We've just.
No, no, but you can't, like, I feel like with every new gameplay element, people are like, oh no, it's going to be bad again. Oh no. And like, no, it's going to be fine. The lineup system looks cool. It's still turn-based.
I mean, will it be fine? We haven't played it yet.
Nintendo fans are so weird.
I mean, a bit of scrutiny doesn't...
I think it will still be a quality game. Also, Stealth made a good point. People were arguing that the bosses are way too generic because they're generic office items, and he's like, well, think about it this way. For an RPG, they're not generic at all because they're not like dragons and knights and stuff like that. Like, they're office supplies.
I mean,
that's hilarious. It's Paper
Mario. The
Mario
series has always found creative ways of introducing gameplay and gameplay characters. So, I mean,
yeah.
A paper mache or paper. Right?
I would say I'm cautiously optimistic still.
Yeah, but even still, some scrutiny isn't bad per se, and we've been burned so many times in the past.
Sure.
That you can't fault people for being a bit weary of what they're going to be presenting. But I guess time will tell once the game is in our hands, and then we'll be able to find.
Just be happy it's not Sticker Star 2.
I mean, the jury is still out on that one, but I digress. Next up, we have more Resident Evil Village news will arrive in August. This is by Jenny Lada for Silicon Era. Sometimes a knee-jerk response to an announcement is wanting to know when you'll get to know more about it. When it comes to additional Resident Evil Village news, people won't have to wait too long. Following the Resident Evil 8 reveal at the June 2020 PlayStation 5 event, complete with the first trailer, Capcom opened a website confirming an August 2020 announcement. Capcom's update doesn't provide too many details. At the very bottom of the game's dedicated website, it confirms Resident Evil Village news is about 2 months away, with a next update is coming August 2020. Doesn't explain anything about what that update entails, though the information below that does also confirm it is a single-player adventure. I don't know if you saw it. They posted a YouTube video after the PlayStation 5 reveal event, and they said that it will be a bit more action-heavy in comparison to Resident Evil 7. But they...
Okay, but are we talking about like 5 and 6 action heavy, or 4 action heavy, or
6 per se? It'll still be plenty creepy, I feel like.
It's kind of like 4.
But it's tough to say.
Like, it's okay if you put, like... I mean, I'm not a survival horror fan, but from what I've seen, like, people are okay when you put a little more action in there.
It's a balance, because when it's Amnesia or Outlast, it's full-on horror. There's no way for you to fight
I was gonna
back.
say.
And I don't... I appreciate that horror, but I don't necessarily like it too much. I like Resident Evil style way more because you have that catharsis. You have that unleashing of all that anxiety and tension and fear, and that's what I really like.
Yeah. That's what I like in just horror genre in general, games and movies. Like, when characters actually get to fight back, I'm like, yes, thank you.
I mean, you as the audience also need that breather and that kind of sense of comfort. Otherwise, you don't have anything.
Or
to
I guess it's more a sci-fi
against.
horror, like Alien and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm excited for fans of that. I know some people who are like huge Resident Evil fans.
Our buddy Joseph.
I think our buddy Joseph Yaden is. Yeah. Next story. I'll take this one. From Gamatsu Sauramano. Phantasy Star Online 2 Episode 4 coming to North America in August. Additional PC platforms coming soon. Sega will release Phantasy Star Online Episode 4 in North America in August and on additional PC platforms soon, the company announced. Oh, that's literally all it was?
I mean, sometimes
there's a trailer.
You get what you get.
Did I talked about playing Phantasy Star Online 2 a while ago,
Yeah, I
right?
think a couple weeks ago, or last week.
Like, I tried it, and I was really disappointed because, like, graphically, it does not look great. And I know, given it is an 8-year-old game, but it's still, like, even for 8 years ago, I feel like it doesn't look that good.
I mean, it's also an MMO. You have to figure that MMOs have so much else going on, considering the size of the game world and the systems on top of it.
And I also have had a lot. And it's just like, it's also that the PC version has had a lot of problems since launch, so that kind of soured me on the experience. I want to go back to it at some point, but just not anytime soon because there are too many other things. And Final Fantasy 14. I only need one MMO taking over my life right now. That's one. I'll take that too. Next we have PS5's digital event generated more video views than PlayStation's last E3 and PS4's reveal. This is from Video Games Chronicles by Andy Robinson. PlayStation has already generated significantly more video views from last week's digital PS5 reveal event than it did from its most recent E3 showing or PS4's first year events. has amassed more than 80 million combined views, which is double PS4's first E3, about 40 million, and significantly higher than PS4's own reveal event, around 53 million. Or PlayStation's most recent E3 showing in 2018, 55 million. The figures, which are based on YouTube views from official PlayStation videos, demonstrate the demand for new information on Sony's next-gen console. They also show how PlayStation can generate significant engagement without a physical presence at E3, which the platform holder has declined to attend for the past 2 years. This year's E3 show was eventually canceled due to the pandemic. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, just goes to show you how much power
breaking records
the PlayStation brand has. We already saw it when they just tweeted that one image on Instagram and how much engagement that got. So people are hungry for PlayStation 5.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of people are at home, so like seeing big, like this was all the positivity I saw after this event made me feel like it was like E3 again. I think I said that I think I might have mentioned it last week, but it made me feel like it was like E3 again. So that was it was just nice to have that nice positive feeling for once. Instead of people being negative and complaining about it. But then, of course, the day later, it went back to that.
Yeah. Okay, keep going. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
It's raining very hard.
Oh, you
where
have
Jason
no idea.
is. Okay, so next story is 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim finally comes to North America this September. This is from Katie McCarthy over at US Gamer. It's been 7 years since we last played a Vanillaware game. The Osaka-based video game developer, known for the likes of Dragon's Crown and Odin Sphere, is known for its stunning painterly art direction and 2.5D graphics. Its newest game, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, released only in Japan last year, and is a departure from the studio's past games with its sci-fi setting. And as revealed during IGN's Summer of Gaming livestream expo, it's finally coming to the West this year. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is a side-scrolling adventure game with real-time strategy combat. In it, you play as 13 different characters, all teenage mech pilots who are battling a war against kaiju, aka big monsters. It's primarily set in 1980s Japan, and also has mysterious time-traveling quirks as well. Settings-wise, it's quite different from the studio's past games, which are typically in the fantasy realm. Even with the departure, it still looks like very Vanillaware-y in terms of its art style and graphics. Familiar staff like longtime Vanillaware composers Hitoshi Sakamoto and Base Escape are also lending a hand to crafting the atmosphere for 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim's unique mech-filled world. Was originally announced in 2015 for both PS4 and PS Vita before the latter version was cancelled and the former version delayed from its original 2018 release window. Upon its release in Japan in 2019, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim received positive reviews. Its worldwide release will be published by Atlas USA. So what do you think of that?
I'm looking forward to it. Especially since they said it's been winning a lot of awards for its writing and its characters. So I'm really interested to see how 13 stories intertwine and shape the game. I also haven't seen gameplay. Not really. Like, is it just a visual novel? Is there any action? Are you driving around?
No, it's a strategy game.
Oh, okay.
It's a strategy game.
I mean,
or something. It's like a strategy type game. I need to see more gameplay too. That's what it said in the article.
So I'm interested. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh, I know a lot of people have been waiting for it for a long time.
Because wasn't it like announced for a Western release a while back, or? was it just that people were waiting on that announcement?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, a while back. It just took a long time.
Okay, do you want me to take the next one, or is the interference from the rain too much?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I don't mind the rain. Blame it on the rain.
Yeah. Okay. Xbox Series X Smart Delivery feature further detailed. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Microsoft has shared more information on Xbox Series X's Smart Delivery feature in a new Xbox Wire post. As previously announced, Smart Delivery allows users who purchase a game for Xbox One to receive the Xbox Series X version of that game at no additional cost when it becomes available. This will support both physical and digital games, if the developer or publisher decides to implement it. Microsoft shared a few scenarios in which Smart Delivery will work across generations with the games and consoles you may own now or in the future. So they detail some scenarios like. Do you want me to go through them, or do you want me to say like, okay, it's in the article, just read it?
Yeah, I'd say just read it because we got other news to get through. But I just want to chime in that like this is a cool feature, so we don't have to worry about buying the same game twice.
Whichever console you own, whatever game you have, at least if it supports Smart Delivery, you're guaranteed of getting the best version of that game. And when it comes to Xbox Game Studios, you're guaranteed that every title will be Smart Delivery compatible, so you're always guaranteed the best possible version of that game or series of games.
Do we know if they have progress transfer?
I'm guessing yes.
I would assume that would be included, but you never know. Something like with these types of things, it's like cross progression is sometimes included and sometimes it's not.
In the example they're giving here of Gears 5, if you have Gears 5 on Xbox One, and you buy an Xbox Series X in the holiday season, you can carry over that game to the Xbox Series X. So
okay.
I'm
So you don't have to worry about starting over, probably.
Your progression.
Depending on the game. Yeah.
I guess we can compare it to PS4 to PS4 Pro. Considering or granted, if you have cloud saves activated, you can carry over your games or your progression. I'll take the next one too.
All right. I'll take the. Oh, if you want, I was gonna take it, but you can.
It's Persona,
that's fine with me.
It's Persona. Persona 4 Golden.
We both like Persona. It doesn't matter.
Persona 4 Golden Steam version already passed 29,900 concurrent players. This is by Jenny Lada for Silicon Era. The Persona 4 Golden Steam release was quite a surprise shadow drop at the 2020 PC Gaming Show. However, there were a few leaks ahead of time, so people knew it was on the way. It seems like it was apparently rather well received. As pointed out on Etc. Steam charts, that's a weird comma placement. Okay, as pointed out on Etc. Steam charts shows it had 29,984 concurrent players at its peak on June 14, 2020. This means it beat out the current JRPG PC record holder for player count, Final Fantasy XV Windows Edition, which had an all-time high of 29,279 according to Steam charts. So this is mighty impressive for a game that's really, really old now. Like, I was in high school when this game released. That's...
You mean the original?
The original Persona 4, so that's more than 10 years ago?
Yeah. So was I.
Wow. I mean, it just goes to show you how much staying power this game has and how beloved it is among the fans. And I'm fighting every urge I have.
Yeah, I plan on getting it at some point.
I still have it on Vita, and even if my Vita is dead at the moment, I have Vita TV, so I can play it on my TV. But I'm fighting every urge I have in not getting this pristine. Because I really love this game.
Yeah. It's cool seeing all these Persona, but it's funny because it's like people are like, yeah, there are some like in the past few years we've realized, even though we're still big fans of the game, we've realized it has a lot of problematic elements because we're aware of other issues now, and it's just very interesting seeing that. We're like, we don't want to dismiss the game because it has all the gameplay features, but we do want to like
I think it was
mention that
US Gamer pointed this out.
What?
And like Katie McCarthy, I think is the writer's name. That the presentation of the Persona we see, or the Japan we see in the Persona games, is a very conservative-minded Japan, even with some liberal themes thrown in. So even if you have LGBTQI issues in the game present, the resolution will still be very conservative by Japanese standards, and that's because of the political party that's at the that has all the power at the current time.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, so that's just it's cool that Persona has that. Will Persona 5 be on Switch or Steam someday? Who knows? Will Persona 3 come to other platforms eventually? I hope
Persona
so.
3 real quick. I think that's going to be a bit tougher because there were 3 versions now. You have the Persona 3 Vanilla, Persona 3 Fez with the add-on content, and Persona 3 Portable. So the question is, are you going to merge all 3 into one? Or are you just going to do one? And which one?
I'd say yes. I'd say combine all 3.
I mean,
make the definitive edition.
The definitive edition, how much work would that cost? And would that take away from development in other games?
Yeah, no, that's probably why it wouldn't have been announced yet. Because they're still working on it.
So maybe next year at the next PC game show, we'll have an announcement for Persona 3.
Could be a Tokyo Game Show if we have, because we'll hopefully have that again next year. Okay, next story. I can take this. This is from Sal Romano over at Gamatsu. Nintendo releases free jump rope challenge game for Switch for a limited time. Created by a small group of Nintendo developers while working from home. I still need to download this so I can get some exercise. Nintendo has announced and released Jump Rope Challenge, a simple game created by a small group of Nintendo developers while working from home in Japan, designed to add quick and fun movement into their daily lives. It is available for Switch via Nintendo eShop as a free limited time release until the end of September.
Are you getting it?
It just has it just has like when you use your Joy-Cons, you can play with a friend. If you have extra Joy-Cons, and the usual, like, consult a doctor before playing if this and that, and make sure to stretch properly, and stop playing if you experience these things, you know, the health warning stuff.
Did you get it?
So that's a nice little
getting it?
thing. I said I still need to download it. I still need to download it. Yeah, I'm taking these last 2 stories, too, because these are... Little Town Hero coming to PC on June 30th, self-published by Game Freak. This is by Sal Romano and Gamatsu again. Developer Game Freak will release Little Town Hero for PC via Steam on June 30th. The PC version is due out just a week after the launch of the PlayStation 4 physical and digital version, and the Switch physical version in North America and in Europe on June 23rd and 26th, respectively. While those versions are published by NIS America, the PC version is self-published by Game Freak. So, when this came out, I feel like a lot of people were kind of disappointed. Just with the value and everything. And it wasn't quite the groundbreaking thing they wanted it to be, but it did have good music because it was composed by Toby Fox. But I think having the PC version, even though it'll probably take a while, once like people who can mod stuff get to it, we could see some interesting elements added or improvements.
How did you?
So I'm very curious to see.
Did you play it or?
I never played it.
Okay.
I haven't played it because of that poor reception. I held off on it because I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I do like it visually still, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I just think it's interesting that even though it's a game that didn't do that well, they stick to like releasing it on more platforms so more people can try it out.
Well, maybe they have
just interesting, especially when
maybe they have long-term
free
plans for the franchise, or maybe this is the start of a new franchise.
Yeah. Because they said they don't want to work on just Pokemon, and they've worked on other stuff before, like, what's that game called? Giga Wrecker Alt? And, that one elephant game, I think?
Yeah?
Tembo? And Pulse Man way back in the day, but... next story is... From Sato over at Siliconera, Metabots Classics Plus will bring 8 games from the series to Switch in Japan on November 12th, 2020. The Metabots series is coming to Switch with 8 classic games in a new collection, Metabots Classics Plus. The title is a plus version of Metabots Classics that brought 5 classic titles from 2. What? It says 5 classic titles from 2 3DS.
From 3DS.
From other platforms to the 3DS in December 2017. First, here's an announcement trailer for the new collection. In addition to the first 5 titles from Metabots Classics, which featured 1 Game Boy and 4 Game Boy Color titles, Metabots Classics Plus will add 3 Game Boy Advance titles in Metabots Navi, Metabots G, and Metabots 2 Core. The collection includes the following 8 titles: Metabots, Metabots 2, Metabots 3, Metabots 4, Metabots 5, Metabots Navi, Metabots G, Metabots 2 Core.
A lot of Metabots.
The collection will come in 2 versions of Kabuto and Kuwagata versions. Favorite features from Metabots Classics will also make a return. These include the Save and Load Anywhere, the Speed function, Row Battle Skip, and more. A new minigame matching function will also be added to help out with the minigames. Lastly, a limited edition that includes both Kabuto and Kuwagata versions will be available for 13,800 yen.
Are you trying to...
I forgot how much that is.
Subtract.
Yeah, I'm like, I forgot how much that is about. 1,000 yen is $10. 10,000 yen is $100. So like $138 around. In addition to special packaging, it comes with an art set and 3-disc original soundtrack for the Game Boy Advance titles. Oh, that's neat. Metabots Classics Plus will release for the Nintendo Switch in Japan on November 12th, 2020. So, I'm not sure if Metabots gets Asian English versions. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I don't think we're getting this because we haven't gotten Metabots games since those Game Boy Advance games that came out here. Although it'd be really cool if we did. If there's an Asia English version, I'm definitely importing that. Because, in case you didn't know, the company that owned Metabots used to be the same company that made the Telefane games. Or something. It's weird. It's more complex. It's a little more complex than that.
That's the gist of it.
But yeah, that's the gist of it. So I just think that's neat.
Were you a fan of the anime?
Yeah, when I was a kid, the first series anime, because the second series was only available on cable, and I didn't even know it existed until later. And also, it's when you're older, the human designs are weird. The robot designs are fine, but the human designs are kind of weird.
I still like the Western localized version a lot. And I really like the animation style because it's very loose and fluid, and it's not typical of
that's true.
Of what you saw in Yeah,
It does
it's
stand
not
out a
typical of
lot.
what you
Yeah.
saw in a lot of anime of that era. So it really sticks in your memory.
Uh huh. And there's also the
He just
referee,
shows up
Mr.
anywhere
Referee.
and everywhere. That's so cool. Yeah,
He's
definitely.
amazing. And wait, what was that one guy's name? Not, I want to say Tuxedo Mask, but no, he's not Tuxedo Mask. He's like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I want to say Phantom,
Yeah.
Phantom Renegade.
Yeah, something
was
like that.
what it was? Which is that's a cool name. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. All right. So our main topic is news because a lot of it's going to be speculation based though. So, and this is probably going to be a shorter
It's
podcast
fine.
than usual.
We can just go ham with speculation.
Yeah. Rhythm action game Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory announced for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Square Enix has this is by Sal Romano over at Gamatsu. Square Enix has announced Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, a rhythm action game entry in the Kingdom Hearts series coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch in 2020. Here's an overview of the game via teaser website. Many characters from the Kingdom Hearts series appear as playable characters. Depending on the stage, Disney characters will appear as guests and lend you their strength. The game features a massive catalog of over 140 songs, including music from Kingdom Hearts series, Disney, and more. Enjoy rhythm-based action through unforgettable music. There are 4 play modes, including online battles. Just real quick, before speculation on that, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road launches June 22nd. We talked about they released new artwork with the new characters that we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Just that real quick. But the speculation about Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, MOM, Master of Masters. It has to do with music. People are theorizing that Demix have been theorizing that Demix, who uses music to fight, basically, is the Master of Masters, and therefore it might be connected to the story in that weird way.
So I also, because I saw it on Twitter this week, MOM, and I was like, okay, Kingdom Hearts mom? Are they going to be showing Sora's mom, maybe? Like, okay, no, that doesn't make any sense.
She comes back,
and
Sora, you never came back for dinner.
And then Master of Masters. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. But as for Demix being the Master of Masters, it doesn't really make much sense because, or at least that's what I got from one of the fan sites who were discussing the thing.
Okay, but it's Kingdom Hearts. Braig being Lushu doesn't make sense either.
No,
but we all accept it now.
Let me finish. If we make Demix the Master of Master, then we have 2 members from Organization 13 that turn out to be even bigger deals in the grand scheme of things, and that would just feel like repeating the same story beat again because Lushu is Braig is Zigbar, and I don't think,
which we still don't know how exactly that all works.
Well, he said he has been jumping from body to body, and that's why he has survived all these years after the first 4 Teller Wars.
Yeah, like at that point, then who was the real Braig? I don't know, just some dude.
We don't know, but yeah, they said Demix has a musical instrument-based weapon. And Melody of Memory being a music, rhythm, or rhythm action game, it makes sense to have Demix feature prominently in this game, but I don't think Demix will be the Master of Masters. What I have seen is a comparison made between Sora and the Master of Masters. And if you look at Sora's capabilities and...
Oh, so the Team 4-Star... I saw Team 4-Star make a theory that Master of Masters is just future
something
Sora.
like that. And because the ability Sora has, how his story progressed, how he got the Keyblade, or how he didn't get the Keyblade, if you're being specific, that all plays a part in how we view his part in the story. And even, well... speculation aside, when you watch till the end of the trailer, you see some reveals incoming for Kairi, and a lot of it has to do with being experimented on, I think, during childhood, and something.
So,
Mhm.
I didn't
I
notice
mean,
that.
well, that's what I'm getting from the snippets, because it's not really a lengthy trailer, or it's not even a cutscene.
Yeah, it was very brief.
Yeah, it's very brief, but it's gonna focus on Kyrie, I think, the story. Because when you look at the game,
So, do you think it's just going to be
Mhm.
is going to focus on Kyrie? Do you think it's going to also be the Sora going to save Kyrie?
Yeah, so
in that section of Kingdom Hearts 3 that we didn't
yeah,
have.
so I think this is going to be an expansion of that part of the story, and I think you can tell by how you play the game, with it being Kingdom Hearts 1 Sora, Goofy and Goofy and Donald. I'm sorry, in the gameplay, that it's not current Kingdom Hearts Sora that you're going to be controlling, or that he's going to be part of the story. So there's that to consider.
It's interesting because Kingdom Hearts 3 seemed to sour a lot of people on the franchise. And so on Twitter, when it was revealed, half of the people were like, awesome, a Kingdom Hearts rhythm game, I love the music. And the other half was like, this is probably going to have some story bits, and it's going to make me not want to play it. So Kingdom Hearts 3 maybe give up on the franchise. And I'm just like, that's interesting. It was like half of the people were excited, half of the people were like, I don't want to play it
Kingdom
anymore.
Hearts 3 soured you on the franchise?
No, not me.
Oh, okay.
Just I'm saying this is what people were saying. One of my friends said the same thing too. But he still wants to play the game because he loves the music.
Because I really like Kingdom Hearts 3, warts and all, even if it's really wacky and not much makes sense if you think about it too hard.
A lot of the story at the end wasn't great, but I don't hate it or anything. I still enjoyed it.
But my gripes with Melody of Memory are very specific, because I don't know if you noticed, but whenever you play the game and you hit one of the notes, you hear a sound effect. And I'm not the biggest fan of that sound effect, because it kind of obscures the music. And when I see what you mean. So when I'm playing a rhythm action game, I kind of want to be part of the music progressing, and I don't want to obscure any of the good sounds that you'll be hearing.
I see what I think. Maybe Kingdom Hearts trailers and sound have a weird history after all the Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff.
That's
true. We'll have to see about
that. Besides all of that, there has been a curious image floating around. The Japan
with the blank blank
Japanese trailer has at the beginning 2 blank spots in what looks like a roadmap for Kingdom Hearts 2020 announcements. So,
Kingdom Hearts Phase 2.
What do you think those 2 remaining announcements will be?
Some people are speculating maybe it's finally Kingdom Hearts on Switch. I mentioned to you earlier this week, but so Anime Expo is teasing something to do with The World Ends With You, because they're using it for promotional art. World Ends With You, also by Tetsuya Nomura, also featured in a Kingdom Hearts game. He also said that they would return at some point, those characters. Therefore, could a new Kingdom Hearts Switch game be a full World Ends With You Kingdom Hearts crossover?
I'd say that's debatable, because at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, when spoilers happens and Sora finds himself in a very different place, you'd be quick to say, hey, this looks like something from The World Ends With You. Could this...
But it's actually
it's a different
Rex, right?
Version of Shibuya. It's not the same Shibuya.
From I'm not saying the crossover would necessarily be related in that way.
No, I get it.
Like, it could you couldn't maybe not
No,
be
I get
even
it,
playing as
'cause,
Sora.
Niku and some of the
What
other
if you're playing as
characters-
Demix because something about music and Neku or something? I don't know.
It makes sense. I mean, they were in Green Drop Distance, and music plays an integral part in the world ends with you, so you kind of would say it's a logical extension of that, having it being a crossover. But who knows? We'll see.
I mean, I remember Nomura saying he wanted to have
Yeah.
it back. Yeah.
But it,
Or what if there's what if there's there are Kingdom Hearts characters in a New World Ends With You game, and that's actually part of the
possible.
roadmap.
But I do want to squash one rumor that might pop up, that people keep thinking that because of what they saw in Kingdom Hearts 3, that Nomura is interested in revisiting the Versus 13 world. I think it was in one of the Ultimania.
Well, Verum
but-
Rex.
In one of the Ultimania books, I don't know if it's the Kingdom Hearts one or the Final Fantasy VII one, but Nomura said that whatever people are thinking isn't exactly that, what they're thinking. So he's saying you're warm, but it might not be what you think it is. So I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this game. It comes out August, right?
Sounds about right.
I'm more excited that it's like Kingdom Hearts rhythm game, and Kingdom Hearts soundtrack is not available on Spotify right now. Even though a bunch of Final Fantasy music, I guess it's a little harder because it's Disney. But Disney music's probably available on Spotify. Right?
Yeah, it's available.
I don't know. It might be a weird
It
licensing
might
thing.
be, but I think it's a matter of time. There's a lot more original music than Disney-inspired music, so give it some time.
Yeah. So next we have, for the second part of the speculation main topic, just real quick before we get into it, Pokemon had several things announced. They announced Pokemon Cafe Mix for Switch, iOS, and Android, a free-to-play puzzle game due out June 23rd. It's a puzzle game where you run in a Pokemon cafe and you serve dishes and drinks to Pokemon and solve puzzles. That's adorable. There's also Pokemon Smile, an app that helps you kids brush their teeth using Pokemon. So we got Pokemon Sleep isn't out yet, but we got Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Smile, Pokemon Pay Your Taxes. Oh no, we don't have Pokemon Pay Your Taxes yet. I'd play Pokemon Pay Your Taxes. No, but the two bigger things is that the biggest announcement of this Pokemon Direct this week was new Pokemon Snap announced, which it's literally called New Pokemon Snap, like New Super Mario Brothers or New Nintendo 3DS, which I don't like that.
Why not?
Does that mean it's is it a straight sequel or is it an enhanced remake?
The new Pokemon Snap? Well,
yeah,
that's
what I was
think
unclear
it was
on.
Stealth on Twitter that said, I don't remember which executive from the Pokemon company it was, but they said if we were to bring Pokemon Snap to Switch, it would have to be something completely new, so as to not repeat themselves. So I'm thinking this will be...
No, it wasn't to Switch. It wasn't to Switch, right? It was just if they made a new Pokemon Snap in general, because it's an interview from a while back.
I mean, if we take that as a logical extension of their next development goals being on Switch, I think it still fits that they don't just want to repeat themselves or remaster something that was from the past. Maybe this is a true sequel. I mean, it looks like a true sequel.
Yeah. It's so it says seek out and take in-game pictures of Pokemon and their native environments in new Pokemon Snap game, only for Nintendo Switch system. You'll even discover behaviors and expressions you've never seen before when you encounter or research lively wild Pokemon. Travel to unknown islands, beautiful scenery, lush jungle, sandy beaches, Pokemon photo decks. See a different side of Pokemon in the new photo snapping adventures only on Nintendo Switch. It's repeating itself. It's developed by Bandai Namco, and a lot of people are saying, "Wow, it looks a lot." It doesn't even look a lot better visually than Sword and Shield. It's an improvement visually over Sword and Shield for sure.
I mean, you have to reckon with the fact that Sword and Shield and Pokemon Snap serve two different goals. Sword and Shield
Yeah,
probably has, geographically speaking, a lot more content than Snap, and a lot more systems on top of this.
yeah. We don't know how big this game is.
Exactly. Yet. So it's too early to start yelling, "Oh, this is exactly what kind of visuals I expect from a Pokemon game." I'm gonna stop you right there, because if you have the visuals you think you want in the next Pokemon game, it's probably going to be a lot smaller than Sword and Shield were.
I don't think any of the I'm not that judgy on visuals in Pokemon. I think Sword and Shield looks okay. Like, it doesn't look amazing compared to like other Switch games. There are other Switch games that look a lot better, but I don't think it looks that bad. And people just Pokemon fanboys just or fan people.
I get the frustration because
can be kind of
we
ridiculous.
are in what's supposed to be, or what should have been, or what is Nintendo's next generation. And whenever that word or those words are bandied about, people have expectations. And when you see Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Super Mario Odyssey, and what they are capable of graphically, that kind of also sets expectations for every other franchise within Nintendo stable. So on one level, I do get it. Personally, I'd love to see Pokemon take a more cel-shaded route, or more cartoony, like
You mean kind of like they had in like X and
no,
Y?
more like in Monster Hunter Stories, something closer to that.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
So a bit more cartoony, a bit more cel-shady.
The nice thing is that they have improved things since. I've noticed while playing the Isle of Armor DLC, they've really improved on like how characters do facial expressions. I mean, they've had them before in Sun and Moon, but like I just think they've improved a lot in variety, especially just during the story and stuff. Because I remember was it X and Y or was it Sun and Moon or both, where your character is just always smiling and it's really weird. And he's never reacting to things.
I mean, we shouldn't forget that.
So, like, it's not like they have improved, but there's also, like, the whole rumor that Sword and Shield maybe were originally in development for 3DS, and that's why they look the way they do. But who knows? Game Freak and Nintendo are both very secretive, so, like, possible, who knows? That's just speculation.
I remember last year that a lot of reports were saying, hey, the Pokemon company doesn't really have that much time to develop these games, like about a year or so to have their game ready for the next franchise refresh. So it has to be in tandem with the anime show. It has to be in tandem with other products, with like say stationery or toys or
I see what you mean. Yeah, that's the problem with this kind of stuff. Like, when they have to coincide with the release of other stuff, that really hampers a lot of other stuff. Like, this is a totally different company, but that's what messed up Inazuma 11 and why it's still in development.
With Inazuma 11, it's because Level 5 is a lot smaller as a company in comparison to whatever Pokemon company and Nintendo is capable of.
True. Game Freak isn't even that big of a company either.
Nintendo has like Monolith Soft to offset production woes for their bigger titles. So if
Yeah.
level 5 were to have like a satellite studio or a secondary studio helping out, I'm guessing they'd be finishing a lot more games than they're promising.
Yeah, I really wish like somebody would
Like
get
Nintendo,
them
buy level 5.
because they have good relationships with
Nintendo, buy level
what
5. That's what I'm hoping.
Nintendo or Sony.
I mean,
I'd be good with either because they've done great
Sony
games for
could,
both.
but I just want those latent games to stick on the Switch or any Nintendo console because they just
Yeah, because we only have the Catrio Latent. There were rumors because isn't there a collection in Japan, or there was something about there was supposed to be a Latent Switch collection coming, and there was like one Silicon Era article about it, and then we never heard about it ever
level
again.
5 is, as we've discussed, way smaller than we anticipated, and they keep over.
And it's in a very they're in a very weird place right
over-promising and
now.
under-delivering. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
But enough about the other Pokemon, company. I mean Yokai Watch.
set for next
Company.
week. There's another.
I'm excited for the new Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, but
Oh, I was just gonna finish one thing on Pokemon Snap is I'm excited for it because I played like the original like I want to say 2 or 3 times when I had it on Wii because I never had a Nintendo 64 growing up.
No, that's surprising.
I had a PS1. So I did have a Nintendo 64 when I was in college, but that was for Pokemon Stadium. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm glad this was announced. But also, there's going to be another Pokemon Presents next Wednesday.
What could it be?
And it's going to feature news on a big project.
Pokemon Sleep.
Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to put that there. I don't think it's that.
What do you think it will be?
The Pokemon Company held a Pokemon Presents live stream today. Where it will share news on another big project. The Pokemon Company president and CEO Tsunekazu Ishihara said during today's broadcast. There's another big project we're working on that I still want to share with you. You won't have to wait long as I plan to share more news with you next week on June 24th, so please look forward to it. So people are thinking, is it Let's Go Johto? Is it Diamond and Pearl remakes? Is it the Detective Pikachu enhanced Switch version or whatever?
Why not?
I don't think that Detective...
Why not?
On one hand, I don't think that Detective Pikachu game would have a whole presentation to itself. But on the other hand, the movie did well enough that I could still see that happening.
I mean, I think they missed a crucial marketing crossover by not having the enhanced port ready in time for the movie. I feel like that would have done so well.
True.
But as to what else could be possible, Let's Go Johto makes a lot more sense than the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Because, Nintendo or the Pokemon Company likes doing things in sequence and not out of sequence. Could it maybe be them skipping Let's Go Johto altogether and just focusing on the next iteration of Pokemon? Or do you see them just focusing on not Diamond and Pearl, Sword and Shield for their current roster and current setting in the Pokemon world?
Yeah, it's interesting that they would announce a big project like that before their second wave of DLC is even close to being out. But then you gotta remember that like all this news is because no E3. We don't know how all these presentations might have worked had everything been how it usually is. So like maybe Pokemon would be in it, and then these other announcements like Paper Mario and all that.
But it's kind of strange that they didn't
Um,
immediately reveal whatever's coming next week in this week's Pokemon Direct. Um, this was like 10 minutes.
yeah,
So, what gives Nintendo?
maybe they didn't want to take attention away from
I mean,
other
sure,
stuff.
but if
But
Sony's PS5 reveal event is any indication, people just want to be inundated with reveals on top of reveals on top of reveals.
yeah, so I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see next
But what do
week.
you think it'll be next week?
Like I said, it could be any of those things I mentioned, or something completely different. Stay tuned, because we may have a guest who is known for their Pokemon coverage.
Some would say a
Ooh.
master trainer.
Sure.
I mean, the person in question is very knowledgeable about Pokemon. So, it's a master in my eyes.
Yes. Especially competitively, and I know nothing, next to almost nothing about that side of it. So I think we're gonna. Wow, this is probably the shortest podcast we've ever had.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
good job. We're canceled.
I mean, it's only natural. There will be lighter weeks than others.
Especially now that it's summer, and there are a lot of Western games we don't really cover. Like we mentioned Last of Us Part 2, but we're not really going to cover that.
It's Sony published, so we could skirt around the parameters we set up.
If you want to hear us cover Western games in a different podcast, let us know, and maybe we'll get a new Parallax Media podcast going, focused on Western games, called, I don't know.
Parallax presents the news.
Parallax presents Western news only, America and Europe and
please don't call it America, please, I beg you. But yeah, it was fun.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I don't want that kind of community.
That was our episode for the week. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining Erroll.
Yeah, sorry it's a little shorter than usual, but
yeah, but stick around for next week's episode. See you soon.
Yeah, and watch Ultraman.
As always. Okay, goodbye everyone.
Bye-bye.